Everyone, welcome to another pre-market live of May 15th, and let's get started with some news, some fundamental news, economic calendar, and then we'll go over a couple of ticker symbols. So what's happening right now on S&P 500, Nasdaq, the overall market? We are seeing the pullback on the whole market. It's an overall weaker opening, obviously, in a lot of the names, and this is technically a technical pullback after this massive rally that we had in the whole market. And on the geopolitical side, Trump-Xi summit, Trump's visit to China is not basically that big of a deal for now. There is no major breakthrough or any major news on it that can affect the market. The Middle East tension still unresolved, creating uncertainty on Strait of Hormuz, and WTI is up today as well. So we pushed a little bit higher, hit the 100-ish level, and then bounce back down. On the economic data, we had Empire State Manufacturing came in strong at 19.6 versus 6.2 expected. On the macro side, that's, I guess, nothing crazy there. Strong data may support higher for longer rate concern, and a couple of ticker symbols, a couple of news on some individual stocks would be AMAT, beat at earning and revenue, guided higher, but stock is slightly lower pre-market. So not really that interesting price action there, especially after this earning, even though the earning was good. DXCM is higher after Elliott Investment Management reportedly took a stake on it. Microsoft, Bill Ackman revealed a new position on Microsoft, and Microsoft is slightly higher in the pre-market, even though the whole market is dropping. This is not a major move on Microsoft, but still there is a positive news. So we'll be watching Microsoft for any kind of reaction to this catalyst. And yeah, that would be it on the major news and events that we had for the day. On the technical side, if you take a look at SPY and take a look at this whole zone that we are pulling back down, this is technically the previous all-time high. We just retested the previous all-time high. The market tend to hold the higher high, basically the higher lows, very strongly. And as you can see, it just keeps holding the levels. Like if it pulls back to moving averages on 4-hour chart, it just keeps bouncing back up. And it has been doing this since April 7th, that we broke out of this 200 SMA, and then after that we continuously held above 200 SMA, held above moving averages 9 and 21 on 4-hour chart without breaking it or having any sort of major pullback or sell-off. Okay, so this is very important to understand on SPY, because yes, we pulled back today, but based on the numbers, based on the data, the possibility of seeing a bounce here is really high, unless we totally get below this for 739, 738 and control this level, and especially maybe get below this 737 level and control the level. The sellers totally control that zone. In that scenario, we're going to see some sort of possible pushback down on the Qs, right? On the SPY, and also the same on the Qs. We'll see over the Qs as well. So on the Qs, again, the same scenario. We have been holding this massive uptrend Yes, it's wild. Yes, it's overextended. I mean, they say, but the reality is that the market is holding, the demand is there, the buyers are stepping in and they're pushing the price higher. So that's how it works. Right now, we are right in this zone of 706.7 ish, and we are holding right there. Historically, every time we hit the moving averages, we bounce back up. The last time was like a couple of days ago, right? May 12th, right? On Tuesday. So basically, what we are seeing right now is a pullback. On the fundamentals, nothing crazy changed. This is so far the pure price action as a result of this massive rally. So we'll see how the market will react to these levels. We are right around this 707 area. We can technically pull back down till like even 9 EMA. If you see, we never touched the 9 EMA on Qs on daily chart. The same pretty much on SPY. We could say we kind of touched the moving averages here, but then like except that we never touched the moving averages. The price kept pushing higher. It's very normal, and we don't have this kind of price action normally on the overall market. This is very rare and interesting time that we are like seeing all of these crazy price actions. But what is happening right now is technically a pullback. The strength on the basically demand is really there, and the demand is pushing the price higher. So for us to go short, in my opinion, and trade against this whole trend, we need a catalyst. We need a reason. There should be something in the headlines that that result in basically a possible fear in the market, or a negative news, or a negative catalyst that could push the price lower. We don't have it yet. Nothing crazy. Uncertainty is there, but technically the market is pushing all the way higher with this whole strong demand. So with that being said, we have this 739. Sorry, let's go on Qs. We have this demand of 707. If we push back lower, which is possible, we can hit this 701 zones or 700 zone, which is right at 9 EMA on daily chart. The same on SPY. Even if we break below this zone, we can hit easily this 734.5 and still be in this massive bullish trend, but this would be a pullback on the overall market. Apple is consolidating like the consolidation it had right around here. It's just like made a new structure. It was trading in this structure. Now we're here. The previous zone that was a resistance now clearly acting as a demand zone, and the price is bouncing back up on it. So very interesting price action on Apple. Very strong hold so far. On the daily chart, we're still seeing the prices holding. Now, if we do push back lower, there might be a quick opportunity for a possible short down till these areas. But again, this whole zone is a massive demand zone that might hold the price. We'll see. And a break of this trend would be interesting for long. We'll see how the market will move today. Tesla pushed back down heavily. This is something that I mentioned yesterday. After being a little bit exhausted around this zone, a pullback on Tesla, maybe retest of this 415.16 and bounce back up. That would be a great setup for possible continuation on Tesla, because right here we just had rejection, and the sellers were really aggressive. We need to probably push the price back down, and if we see a strength by the buyers, the possibility of seeing Tesla bouncing back up could be higher. In this range, it's not really that interesting to trade. I mean, the scenario that I mentioned is just a scenario. I'm not predicting anything. This is not something that I say it will happen. It's just like a thesis, right? If the price pulls back down, hold this zone and then bounce back up, I would be interested in it. But another scenario is just having choppy price action, sideways action, nothing clear on Tesla until it finally breaks out of this zone or break down. That is also a scenario. So be aware of it. Understand that we are forming inside day right now on Tesla, and there are some quick opportunities below this 430, maybe above this 436.7. And if that happens, you can go for some quick moves. But the big move or the clear setup would be probably out of this 450 level. That would be the interesting setup. Or maybe if it gets below 414, 415-ish level, right? Below this zone, that would be another interesting level. Ideally, maybe below this 407, 408. We're far from there. But in this range, you need to understand where we are and how you should approach a possible trade on Tesla. So we'll be watching 430 and this 436.7 on TSLA. NVIDIA, after this massive rally, it's pulling back with the whole market. Now this zone of 228 obviously is a strong area, strong demand zone. If it holds, which it might hold, we might see a bounce and reversal setup pushing back up higher. And the key level I would be watching possibly would be around this 233, and then the all-time high is right at this level of right there, right? So this is technically a resistance zone that we're talking about right here. Okay, so we're holding right at this demand zone of 228. That would be on watch. This resistance zone on watch. If we possibly cannot hold this zone, the next demand level on NVIDIA would be right around these areas of like 222, 223, which is very close to moving averages on daily chart as well. Google had this rally, consolidated, and now we're kind of holding this structure. I like the fact that we're still holding. If Google holds this 392 and just remains there in this range strong, because this is the zone, right? This is technically the zone. Oops. The zone, the resistance, the price having hard time breaking out of this zone, bouncing back up, finally stuck here, and now we're retesting this zone. So it's not that interesting. I like Google out of this area for trading it, but we'll see how it reacts to this demand zone for possible bounce back up, or if it rejects and push back down, that would be another scenario. Same on AMD here, right? On AMD, we're seeing a possible pullback that could happen, especially below this 425. I think that would be interesting on AMD for a possible pullback down till 402. We have a gap here. Not sure it will be like filling the gap or not, but that's interesting. Quick setup for a possible pullback. It depends on the whole market if it happens or not, and also the whole semiconductor sector, because we have the moving averages right around this 421. There are lots of like layers of demand right around here until we get to this 402. We need a strong selling pressure for that. Another scenario would be a bounce back up and getting out of this basically trend that we are seeing that AMD is forming. If it stays in this range, if it stays in this like 425, 455, 460 range, I'm not interested in focusing on AMD probably. Meta, not interested in it. It's just like moving in zigzag. Microsoft had a catalyst, so we'll be watching Microsoft for a possible push higher. Not the cleanest price action. Lots of inside day price action, lots of unclear moves here overall, lots of sideways action on Microsoft. So I'm not a fan of Microsoft overall, but because of the catalyst, I would be watching it. Maybe above this 420, it might be a little bit more interesting, but we'll be watching Microsoft for a possible strength at the open. MU. MU pulling back, and it basically pulled back pretty heavily in the pre-market as well. The moving average of like 9 EMA is right there, right? It's right here. Okay, so we might retest this 400, 711, 712, and yeah, see this demand and then hold there. That's a possibility. If the market pushes back down, which it is possible on SPY, on Qs, and overall market, MU might push back down till like 712, 13 as well, and then bounce back up. The next level on watch would be obviously this 779, 780 for a possible continuation to the upside. Amazon, yeah, Amazon is below this zone. There might be a quick scalping opportunity, or like very short quick trade if it breaks below this 262 down till maybe 259. So that might be a quick move on Amazon. So Amazon also on watch. It showed a lot of rejection, had a hard time breaking, and sellers were present there. So if the price breaks below this zone that it is actually trading, the next level of demand will be this 259. So probably keep Amazon on watch as well for a possible pullback. If it doesn't, then the next setup on Amazon for possible long scenario would be at the break of this trend. Not interested in trading it in inside days. PLTR, nothing. Yep, I don't see any other. Yeah, AVGO was good as well. Qualcomm, totally pulled back down. Yep, that would be, I guess, it for the day. The theme of the day is mainly focusing on the first 10-15 minutes and waiting for the market. You see the market is bouncing right now, waiting for the market to give us some sort of direction after this pullback, so that we can see whether the bulls are still in power and pushing the price higher, bouncing or not, and then we'll plan for the next steps of the trading day. All right, it's Friday. Make sure you pay attention to the option contracts that you're focusing on if you're trading options. Don't ideally go for 0DT unless you're very good with options and understand all the option details. Yeah, with that being said, I would like to I'll be trading live with the team right now. In a minute the market will be open. If you want to join us, if you want to trade live with us, make sure you check out the description below, and yeah, start with trial and trade live with me every single day. Thank you guys. I will see you in the next